I come to you with a growly belly. My belly is very hungry, so it might try to speak over me. If it does, I apologize. But I also come to you with a recurring dream. A dream that I had my entire childhood up until I was about 13, and then it just stopped completely. It turns out this dream was a memory of sorts, a conversation between my higher self and me. Just before I entered into this existence, this realm, through a portal. And that was part of the dream, too. This is just an excerpt from the dream. And it's an excerpt from a novel, which I am writing, which I am failing to write currently, but which I started. And so this dream is included within the story. So I'm going to read this to you now, and it's going to be from a third person perspective, as if I'm talking about someone else, but this character is me. And this is my recurring dream. It's an excerpt. This is not even the entire dream. It's an excerpt from the novel, and it's an excerpt from the dream. But this dream has helped me to wake up, to realize who I am, what I came here for, where I came from, what my destiny is. And I have a theory that maybe recurring dreams are a key to people's destiny. Maybe not all recurring dreams, but it could be a tool for our awakening. So maybe if you've had one, maybe examine it. It's a hypothesis. It's not a theory. Okay. Awakening from deepest slumber. She rubs her eyes, stretches her arms, yawns. She finds herself outdoors. It is early morning. The air is misty, slightly chilly, crisp. Looking down at herself, she sees she is sitting Indian style, barefoot, on a bed of slate blue river stones. She is wearing an off-white, long-sleeved linen tunic. Slowly, methodically, she exercises her neck's left to right full range of motion. On either side of her, dotting the horizon as far as the eye can see, there are mountains, the faces of which are staircases comprised of monolithic flagstones jutting from the earth like ancient geologic incisors. Atop each mountain, staring straight ahead, stands one man, woman, or child. And over each staircase flows a crystal clear, cascading stream. Compelled by some unconscious but knowing force, she is moved to stand and make her way to the nearest peak, the only one unoccupied. Upon reaching the top of the staircase, she dips her right foot into the cool stream and allows the weight of her body to come down upon the first flagstone. As soon as she makes contact, she is gently lifted by the buoyancy of the water and finds that without effort, she is gliding downward, floating, descending the stairs, touching not a one. Again, she scans the horizon, finding all the others in an even, simultaneous descent. She casts her gaze forward and slightly down, the bottom of the staircase now within her field of vision. Gently and swiftly, the stream pulls her along its 45-degree slant, her body having become one with its flow. At the base of the stairs, the foot of the mountain, the disappearance of the stream, there is a sea of people swarming like ants, specks growing ever larger. She must be moving a quarter mile a minute with a half a mile to go. Suddenly, a strong feeling arises, the sensation of being penetrated and engulfed by some energy to her left. Hairs on end, she turns bow to port. Immediately, she locks eyes with her paternal grandmother. Listen to me, Rainey, her grandmother frantically implores. When you get down there, you're going to lose me. We'll be split up and you won't know anyone. You won't know where you are or where you're meant to go. You're going to be scared and confused. And if too much time passes, you're going to be sad and lonely. But listen to me. You have to find something to write your name with and then find something to write it on. Your full name. Do you hear me? Do you understand? It's the only way to wake up and remember. What? Remember what? Begs Rainey. With that, her grandmother glides past the last step and disappears, swallowed whole by the teeming anthropic mass. And then, suddenly and all at once, it swallows Rainey also, overwhelms her with its cacophony of multitudinous languages, with its whiffs and wafts and sprays of intermingled indiscernible scents, with its endless palette of colors and rapidly shifting microclimates. Her senses are being pushed to their fullest extent. She is hyper-aware. Colors begin to take on flavor, shape, sound, texture, smell. Suddenly, the world is a work of art, and she is the painter, and the painting. She blows a kiss to the wind, and a nearby tree drops its leaves. She holds her breath, and the amber sky turns blue. She kicks a pebble and watches on as an avalanche of boulders tumbles down the escarpment of a distant mesa. She imagines herself as a butterfly, and a giant monarch appears, and briefly alights upon the center of her brow before flying heavenward, out of sight, leaving behind the faint but unmistakably sweet fragrance of milkweed blossom. A sienna dodecahedron, toasted marshmallow on the tongue. Savoring the sweetness, she gently closes her eyes and finds there on the inside a dazzling display of flickering phosphines, purple, green, red, blue. A kaleidoscopic emergent light show, and with it, spilling forth from her cave of Brahma, an immersive soundscape of crashing waves. A fastness, bliss, transcendence. Awareness rising, her corporeal shell remains grounded, rooted, and to it she is tethered by a seemingly endless, unraveling, ethereal cord, umbilicus to umbilicus, self to self. With absolute levity, she continues to rise. Okay, so my name in the story is Rainey, Irene Rainey. My great-grandmother, the mother of my grandmother in this story, her name was Irene Rainey. She's my favorite human that ever existed that I know. She saw me, and she gave me the name Riley. She called me her loving Riley. She saw my heart. If it weren't for her, I would have never made it. Okay. Now, there are many things in this dream that have come to pass in my life. Changing my name, realizing who I am, was a big part of my story. I was given the name Barbara at birth. That was my mother's name. She abandoned my mother. She wrote her out of her will. She requested that my mother not be present at her funeral. This is the person I was named after. Everyone deserves their own name. And I came to realize that my name was a curse and that my mother had named me after her mother, the woman who had abandoned her, who had wounded her badly, and then proceeded to act out that relationship with me. And I was wounded. And the mother wound, healing that, has been a big part of my story. But my great-grandmother, Irene, Rainey, she called me her loving Riley. So when I realized that the name Barbara was a curse word, it was a trigger, and then I needed to change my name, there was no question in my mind that my name is Riley. Okay. So I changed my name to Riley. And it was a huge shift for me. It was like letting go of a bag full of heavy bricks that I've been carrying, okay? Names are powerful. Words, vibrations, sounds. It's powerful. This is how we create or curse. And then I went through a very big spiritual awakening at 40. And coming out of that, I was given the name Shalom by God. I was making a series of paintings, and I began signing Shalom at the bottom of all these paintings. I've always been an artist, but I've never signed my work because I always felt like these things came through me and they're not of me. And I just never felt the need to claim them as my own. And people would always get on me about not signing my work. But all of a sudden, here I found myself writing Shalom at the bottom of my paintings. And I didn't even know what Shalom meant. I realized I needed to change my name, that I was no longer Riley after what I had been through, that I had been given a new heart, a new mind, a new nervous system. And when I realized that God had already given me the name Shalom. That's why I had been signing my art. It was Shalom that was doing these paintings. It's a new person. So I looked up the meaning of the name Shalom. It's a Hebrew word. It means divine peace. Okay, because the way that peace is brought about is not necessarily always seen as loving or kind. It's whatever is necessary. The truth, which sometimes is hard. And this is part of who I am and my character, is that I bring that without fear. Okay. This is who God has made me into. And then I just recently learned that Shalom means peace in Hebrew, and Irene is the Christian version of Shalom. It means peace. Life is so magical. But there's my dream. There's part of my dream. I wanted to share it because it's fascinating. We are fascinating as creations of God, as creators made in the image of a creator, as children of God. And I'm really curious about people's dreams, and especially recurring dreams. So please share if you have had your own.